The federal government has affirmed its commitment to the development of information communication technology in Nigeria through its social investment program. The Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Okechukwu Enelama, made this known at a conference organized by Business Day in Lagos with the theme Beyond Oil, ICT as a Viable Alternative.
At a time of slow economic growth due to the fall in oil prices, the organizers of this event believe the time has come to tap into the potential of information communication technology as a viable economic alternative.
I want to say thank you for being here.
The host sets the ball rolling by highlighting the objectives of the conference.
What we seek here to do this morning is to bring to the front corner those ideas and suggestions that can help Nigeria realize our full potential in this very critical sector.
The Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Okechukwu Enelama, in his keynote address, itemizes the federal government's efforts using ICT as a tool of economic diversification through a five-fold agenda.
The federal government currently has a robust national broadband policy that aims to raise penetration to 30% by 2018. The government is currently working with local and multinational technology companies to establish 8 technology innovation hubs across the country.
What are the challenges of broadband penetration in Nigeria, and how can they be resolved?
Power is a key one. I think generally the ICT sector loses more than 10% of its productivity to the loss of power annually. Skilled labor is also an issue that we need to address.
The conference then broke into a panel discussion where it was agreed that with the right policies and framework, ICT could make a more meaningful contribution of between 20 and 30% to Nigeria's GDP.
Industrial economy exists without a thriving ecosystem of data center capability. You might think it was the data center, but it's really like saying you want to grow your industry without power.
Participants at this event are optimistic that information technology holds the key to a more robust economy if well harnessed.
Let's take a look at some sports for the day. Here's Ayotunde Balogun.
The Nigeria Football Federation, the NFF, has commended Channels Television for the successful staging of the 8th Channels National Kids Cup competition. NFF First Vice President Sheyi Akiomi, who is also chairman of the NFF Youth Development Committee, said they are committed to taking the best players from the tournament on an international playing tour. He also said the players will also be invited to the screening of the national under-13 team later this year. Mohammed Kabir Primary School in Kaduna emerged winners of this year's Channels National Kids Cup, which is an NFF-protected tournament. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Football Federation has confirmed there will be a friendly game between its Olympic team and the under-23 national side of Mexico in Mexico on Saturday, July the 2nd. NFF's match agent said that the match will take place at the home ground of newly promoted club Necaxa FC. The NFF also announced that after the friendly, the Nigeria under-23 squad will continue its training camp in the United States and will play Charleston Battery FC in Atlanta on Saturday, July the 16th. A game against the Honduras under-23 team is also being planned for July the 27th. Germany's Mario Gomez scored in the first half to secure a 1-0 win over a stubborn Northern Ireland side and a place in the last 16 of the Euro 2016 Championship as Group C winners. Poland reached the knockout stage for the first time as they finished second in Group C after a 1-0 win over Ukraine. Jakub Blaszczykowski curled in a left-foot shot for the winner after 54 minutes, and Poland will now play Switzerland in the last 16 on Saturday. Croatia defeated holder Spain 2-1, but both countries advanced to the knockout stages. He's been there and done that at club level and for the national team of Sweden, and now Zlatan Ibrahimovic says he will retire from international football after Euro 2016. Sweden's record goal scorer will quit this summer at the age of 34, and his last game could come as early as Wednesday night. The Swedes go into the game with Belgium on the verge of elimination, having taken just 1 point from their opening 2 games. Ibrahimovic has 62 goals in Sweden colours and is aiming to become the first player to score in 4 European Championship finals.
I will not participate in the Olympics because my last game will be the last game Sweden does in this Euro. So let's hope it goes as long as possible. So to finish in a disappointment, never. Because I am very proud to be the captain of Sweden and what I have achieved. I want to take this moment and thank all the supporters because they made it possible for me to achieve what I have achieved. So without them would not be possible. So wherever I go, wherever I come, I will always bring the Swedish flag with me and stand with it. So for me, disappointment doesn't exist. Only proudness and grateful and very thankful.
Well, IOC President Thomas Bach says the International Olympic Committee fully respects the IAAF decision to uphold Russia's ban from athletics. Russian track and field athletes are excluded from international competitions, including the upcoming Rio Olympics, after the IAAF voted on Friday to maintain their suspension over systematic doping issues. Mr. Bach also adds that competitors from Russia or Kenya wishing to take part at the Games must be cleared by their Sports International Federation.
It confirmed the respect and the approval and the support for the decision having been taken by IAAF. This non-compliance declaration and the substantial allegations that they put very serious doubts on the presumption of innocence for athletes coming from these countries. And that therefore each athlete coming from these 2 countries will have to declare eligible by the respective international federation following an individual procedure and an individual evaluation of the situation.
And that's a wrap in sports news. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. The news at 10 continues shortly.
It's Judgment Day for Congolese ex-rebel leader Jean-Pierre Bemba, who's been sentenced to 18 years in jail following a landmark conviction at the International Criminal Court for war crimes and sexual violence. Here's Temitope Fagbemi with more.
Sentenced at the ICC in The Hague, Judge Sylvia Steiner said Bemba had failed to exercise control over his private militia group sent into the CAR, where they carried out sadistic rapes, murders and pillaging of particular cruelty. But his defense team say they will appeal against the decision. Bemba's conviction is the first time the ICC has focused on rape as a weapon of war, and the first time a suspect has been convicted over crimes committed by others under his command. Still in Africa, a court in Egypt has quashed a government decision to hand back 2 Red Sea islands to Saudi Arabia. Egypt's President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi announced the return of Tiran and Sanafi Islands in April during a visit by Saudi Arabia's King Salman. This sparked outrage in the country, and more than 150 people were jailed in connection with protests over the deal. Reports say the court's verdict is not final and could be overturned by a higher court. Finally, the U.S. Senate has rejected plans to tighten gun controls, including the restriction of weapons sales to people on terrorism watch list. 4 proposals were brought before the Senate after 49 people died in an attack on a gay nightclub in Florida. But Democratic and Republican senators voted along party lines, blocking each other's bills. And that's the foreign news wrap-up. It's back to you, Ijoma.
Thanks a lot, Temitope. And the main news again. Although the federal government says it's fired protesting resident doctors across the nation, the leadership of the House of Representatives today intervened and convened a meeting between the Minister of Health and representatives of the Doctors Association. It was agreed that normalcy would return till another meeting is held on July the 14th. Also today, the President approved the appointment of Idris Ibrahim as Acting Inspector General of Police. Mr. Ibrahim takes over from Mr. Solomon Arase, who has retired. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thanks so much for staying with us. I'm Ijoma Bunyato. Do have a good night.